Readiness is 7 of 8 complete, so at least one monitor is still not ready. That means we need to keep digging, and the missing freeze frame context limits how precisely we can recreate the fault conditions right now. Before we score the engine, we should run a quick off-idle test to see how airflow and trims behave. Please start the engine and hold it at about 2500 RPM for around 20 seconds. I'll watch airflow and related signals once you confirm you're doing it. If anything feels unsafe or the car isn't in a good condition for the maneuver, tell me and we'll adjust. Got it. I'm opening the capture window and watching the key signal. Go ahead and hold it at about 2500 RPM now. I'm watching. Okay, let me review the captured test window, and then we'll close out the engine stage. Here's what that off-idle test showed, and then we'll close out the engine stage. Engine stage is scored as warning at 72%. The off-idle test looked healthy. MAF increased as expected, manifold pressure dropped appropriately, the upstream Bank 2 Sensor 1 O2 activity looked proper, and the long-term trim stayed steady. But we still have pending P0430 and P0449 with no freeze frames and one monitor not ready. A few items couldn't be verified from the available PIDs, like pedal to throttle correlation, VVT or cam tracking, and oil pressure or temperature. Does that match what you're seeing on the twin?
Yes.
Alright, moving on to the fuel system next. Let's start with the first check together. Let's start with short-term trims and see what the live data actually shows. I'm checking the short-term trims first, and I may need to call out missing data if that PID isn't available. Short-term fuel trim isn't showing up in the tracked live PIDs, so I can't read it for either bank. That means I can't confirm the active short-term corrections. We'll rely on long-term trim and upstream oxygen sensor behavior for the fuel control story.
Check it now.
Alright, I'm checking the long-term trims now.
No, check for short-term trim now. You should have it.
Okay, let me check for that short-term trim in the live data and see what we can actually read. You're right to question it. I'm now seeing short-term fuel trim for Bank 1 at about minus 3.1%, which is within a normal correction range around 0. What's missing is Bank 2 short-term trim, so I still can't complete the every bank part of that check. My earlier no data call was based on what was tracked at the time, and with the update, we can say Bank 1 looks normal, but full coverage is still incomplete.
Okay.
Next, I'll compare the banks using what we can see, and I'll be clear about any gaps. For the bank-to-bank comparison, the trims we can see are reasonable. Bank 1 looks slightly negative, and Bank 2 long-term is slightly positive, both well within normal correction. But we still don't have Bank 2 short-term trim available, so a full apples-to-apples comparison is incomplete.
Okay.
Next, I'm checking upstream oxygen sensor behavior to be sure trim readings are trustworthy. Upstream O2 behavior looks normal. Bank 2 Sensor 1 is actively switching and was assessed as healthy for its role, and Bank 1 Sensor 1 voltage is present and moving. That means the trim information we're using is more trustworthy.
Alright.
Next, I'm checking the commanded air-fuel target and whether the sensors are following it. Commanded air-fuel ratio looks normal. It's commanding 1.0, and the upstream sensors are active, which fits a healthy closed-loop situation with the target being followed.
Okay.
I'm checking fuel delivery next. Pressure looks steady, but we'll be honest about what we can't prove without load. Fuel pressure is steady at idle, which is a good sign, but without the exact spec and a proper load test, we can't confirm it behaves correctly under demand, so full fuel delivery performance is still unverified.
Alright.
Next, I'll look at fuel level and evap-related data and I'll note what's present and what's missing. Fuel level is about 38.4%, and ethanol content is around 10.2%, both reasonable. But evap readiness is not ready, and there's a pending P0449 pointing at the evap vent valve control circuit. So evap operation isn't fully verified from the PIDs, and that code is the main concern here.
Okay.
Next, I'm reviewing fuel-related codes and any supporting test context, so we can call this clean or not. We've logged all the fuel checks. Let me score the stage and summarize what's solid and what's still open. Fuel system is a warning at 68%. The trims we can see look reasonable, and commanded air-fuel ratio is 1.00 with active upstream O2, so basic closed-loop control looks okay. But evap readiness is not ready, and P0449 is still pending. We don't have freeze frame context, and we didn't run a fuel delivery load test here, so evap vent control needs targeted follow-up. Anything you want to look closer at before we move on?
No, let's move on.
Alright, we'll head into the ignition checks next. Let me bring that system into focus. I'm starting with misfire counters. If they aren't exposed, I'll mark that clearly. Misfire counters aren't exposed in the current live data, so I can't confirm 0 misfires from counters. The misfire readiness monitor is ready, which is good, but without Moto 6 misfire test IDs or cylinder counters. The misfire evidence is still unverified from this view.